How's it going, guys? I'm back again. This time it's not on the Roush though. We are working on the wife's Explorer today. This is an Explorer Sport 2016. It's been a great truck. We're gonna do a little bit something more to it today. Steeda Autosports just released their sway bar kit for this truck. So we're gonna do a little unboxing here and get this sucker installed. You can see there the Steeda blue. So let's get it unboxed and see what we got. Okay, so here we are with the bar. It's got 3 different adjust points. This point here is about 110% of stock. I think it goes up to 175% if I'm not mistaken. The 3 adjustable points. Very substantially thick bar. You get all your hardware package here with your new sway bar bushings and brackets right here. And of course, the main thing, made in America. That's right, Valdosta, Georgia, I believe. Made in America. So we'll get this thing installed. We got the Explorer up on the race ramps in the back here. And I'll take you underneath and show you the stock piece. There's the stock bar right there. Comes around and attaches there. So we'll start getting these things loosened up. I believe we got to drop the exhaust down a few inches and we'll get this installed. Okay, we're underneath the truck here. I believe this is a 7mm open inch wrench that you're going to need to put on the end of there into the sway bar link, and this is a 15mm opening wrench as well. So what I'm going to do is put this in here and this here, and I can start to loosen this end piece. Just like that. Comes off very, very simple and loosened. So what we're going to do here now is we're going to take off the stock 13mm bushing. Get a socket, doesn't need to be a deep well or anything. Socket, ratchet set. Take off the 13mm bracket or bolt for the brackets on each side. A little old school, I like to work with my hands and hand tools versus air tools, but you can do it air tools too, either way, works. Now that you have the brackets loose, the sway bar brackets loose with the 13mm bolts, you're going to come back to the exhaust hanger here. You're going to loosen both 10mm bolts on the exhaust hanger and actually remove the one towards the outside of the vehicle on both sides. That'll allow you to drop the exhaust down just enough to get the sway bar out. Once you have both sides loose and the outside ones taken out, it'll allow you to drop the exhaust, pull the exhaust down just enough to get the sway bar out. Just like that, the stock sway bar is out. Now you can really see the difference in the stock sway bar and the Steeda piece. Quite a bit difference in the thickness there between the two, pretty substantial. Plus you've got your adjustability on the end links versus the stock piece. Okay, now that we have the old one out, we're going to install the new one about the same way the old one went in, or the old one came out. Install the new one the same way. So again, you're going to want to feed it up inside, pull the exhaust down just enough. Feed the other one just inside, over, like so. It's going to go like that. Okay, now once you get the exhaust brackets tightened back up, you're going to want to use this applied grease that's right here. What this will do, it'll help the bushings have the ability to slide and move around. So Gonna put a little bit of it up in the bushing. Get it all nice and lubed up in there. And this is gonna go on the outside of this retention washer right here. So the bushing's split in half. It goes around it like that. And it goes on the outside of that retention bushing. Put a little bit of grease on the outside of this bushing as well. Get it worked in pretty good so that it doesn't squeak or make any noises. And then you're going to take the supplied bracket and slide it in place inside or over top of the bushing, just like so. Do that on both sides. Okay, once you get that into place, you're going to use the supplied bracket spacer and the supplied bolts, and you're going to secure the brackets in place just loosely. Tighten the brackets down with the supplied bolts until you get everything put into place, and then you can tighten it down even further. And as I discussed when the sway bar was out, I'm going to end up using the center hole right here just to get a feel for how tight the sway bar actually is. And then once I can feel for how tight it is, and I can adjust it from there, either forward or back to get tighter or whatnot. So once you get all those into place, the links on the ends and the brackets in place right there, then go ahead and start tightening everything up and make sure it's all secure. Okay, once you get it all installed and the sway bar bushing 15mm bolts get torqued to 42 foot-pounds, and then you get it all put together the right way, this is what you end up with. Turned out really, really good. The sway bar is quite a bit more substantial than the stock one. Went in super easy. I mean, total of maybe 20 minutes. But it fit perfect. Of course, Steeda is well-made product, and it's all within tolerance and away from any of the other suspension components. So, very happy with the install. Time to take it for a drive and see how she performs. Okay, we're taking the truck for a drive now after the install of the Steeda Autosports sway bar for the 2011, I think, and newer Explorers. But I live down a country road in Kentucky. I mean, it's paved, but it's still a lot of windy and twists and turns, right? And we haul the boat in this, and we haul different items behind the truck. So this is really gonna help the stability of the truck. It feels a lot more solid. Just whenever you're turning the wheel, it doesn't have that rock and that sway that you had stock. Like, I'm taking a turn right now and it's very, very solid, and I just have it on the center hole. I just don't see a need, unless I'm going to be autocrossing or something like that in this vehicle, to go to the tightest hole on the sway bar. I think 175% of stock is what that one is. I just don't see a need to go with that right now, unless you're doing some very intense things with this truck. But there's weaker spots on this truck now than the sway bar. So I know Steeda Autosports makes the I think the toe links, or the lower control arms. Probably some toe links coming soon, huh, Steeda? Well, those things are the weak points now. The sway bar upgrade, that's not going to have to be any tighter at this point. So, but just taking the turns in the truck, it feels a lot more solid. The steering is tighter, and it just really feels like more of a sport Explorer, and that's what you want out of this. So, very good job, Steeda. Another top quality product. I'm excited to be able to get this in the truck in under 20 minutes at that. So I can't wait to do more. What do you guys think I should do to the Explorer next? I know I'm going to do a detail on it. This Explorer is dirty. It's used as an everyday driver and towing, and also taking family trips. So, oh man, that turn there, just, I mean, even at 90-degree turn, not even at speed, the truck just feels a lot more solid. That turn, oh, that right there. Yep. So another top quality product, 100% success, and highly recommended. The sway bar for the 2011 and newer Explorer Sports from Steeda. So more to come to follow. So hit subscribe on that button, that channel, and follow me for anything more on the Explorer. Wow.